Wait. I already
It
messed
happens
up.
every time.
Hi.
You do that every time.
Every time.
I have to remind you every time.
He didn't say
have to
anything
remind you every
until
time.
I already hit start stream. And then I was like, crap. Because I can't do anything until it starts. I can't even cancel it. One day I'll get it right. One day.
Oh, we already got a comment from Wilbon. Wow.
Wilbon.
Yeah, we're
Get out.
just block him. Just block him.
Get first of
Just
all,
block him.
Wilbon. No, first of all, I'm sorry I missed the stream. I would have loved to be there. Would have loved it. I watched it. Had it on while I was working Tuesday. Definitely a successful stream for you. Lots of playbacks on it, which is fantastic.
It was a
Looked
fun
like a lot
time.
of fun.
It was
Looked like
a
a lot of fun. I especially loved all the dunking on Mr. Steve.
Yeah, I didn't expect that to happen, but some stuff had to be said. It just had to be.
You know, I get it. And it is so weird that he seems to want to cater to the negativity.
Yeah, but then
It's
on
so
his Instagram
weird.
story, he's like,
Yeah.
"Where's all this animosity coming from?" And it's all the 3.75-inch collectors bitching about Hasbro. Like,
Yeah.
I've seen more negative, like that Blue Harvest collector guy.
Yeah.
He's posted stuff bitching about. We're not on the actual pod, so I can curse.
No, yeah. This will be on a year from now.
Yes,
But yeah.
yes.
Yeah. So a year
But-
from now, who cares? Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, do the Patreon intros happen on the?
Yeah, I don't edit them out.
Oh yeah, on YouTube. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that dude was talking about like all these other figures they don't have yet. Like, why don't you just be glad that you just got a successful?
You can't be happy with what you got. You can't be happy with what you got. It's always about what you don't have. You gotta focus on what you don't have. It's weird.
Yeah, but
it's childish, is what it is.
But yeah, the Mr. Stevie dunking on was fun. That stream took a lot of turns. I didn't.
I wish I could have been part of it. Honestly, it was so hard to listen to it because I wanted to respond. I wanted to even talk in chat, but like I couldn't because I wasn't there.
You were
live.
busy. Yeah.
I was busy.
Yeah. But Kirby, thanks for hopping in real quick.
Kirby.
It's kind of wild that it feels so weird to stream right now because it's not a Thursday night. I don't feel like I'm.
For me, especially, I'm still technically working at my job. It's 2:00 in the afternoon on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I literally just closed my laptop right when you hit live. Like I had to officially close and get off.
But it's okay. It's okay.
We gotta move things around. I know you're leaving out of town. Where are you heading?
I
this
am.
weekend?
Yeah, I'm going up to Seattle to visit. So my wife is visiting her sister for like a month. She went up last Friday, and I'm going up this Friday to spend. Oh, actually Thursday night, but I'm spending the weekend there just to hang out. And then when I leave, they're going to Disney World for like a week, solid week. They're paying for my wife's plane ticket there. She's staying with them in their really nice like hotel place that's got like her own bedroom in it, and they're paying for her ticket to be there, so that so she can help them take care of their child, so that they can have fun at Disneyland or Disney World, I should say.
The one in Florida World?
Yeah, the one in Florida. So they're going to Florida. Like we go to Disneyland all the time because it's like an hour away from us. But like she's like, oh, I want to go to Disney World. I'm like, I'm not going to tell you you can't go to Disney World. Like I'm not going to go. We can't afford it. But you go, you have fun.
Yeah, that's a long trip, especially if they're paying.
Yeah,
if they're paying. For childcare like that.
Yeah. Well, and then she was gonna come straight home from Disney World. Like they got her a plane ticket to go from Disney World in Florida back to San Diego. But then the whole living thing, which I haven't talked about, I don't know if I want to talk about on the pod. But there's a moving situation happening, and they're like, well, we're gonna go to Illinois to look at houses. Do you want to come with us there so you can kind of see what it's like there? And she's like, oh yeah, I'll go there. So now she's there for another week on top of what she's going to be there. She's literally there for all of July, and then I think like the beginning of August.
She's a teacher, right? So she has summer off.
Oh yeah, she's got summer off. But I'm basically a legit bachelor for a solid month.
Why am I not flying out to San Diego and staying?
I don't know. I got a place you could stay.
I was literally off work all last week. I could have.
Me too. I had last week off of work as well, the whole week.
We could have met up. Why didn't we talk about this beforehand?
I don't know. We're guys. We don't talk about stuff.
Yeah, that's true. We talk about toys and Star Wars.
We talk about toys and Star Wars. Seriously, every time she's always like, have you talked to this person? I'm like, yeah, I just texted him yesterday. And she starts asking me all these personal questions about his life. I'm like, I don't know. I asked him how he's liking a video game, and we talked about video games for like an hour. He's like, guys are so weird. How do you not care about this stuff? It's like,
my wife brings up the same thing. Yeah.
It's like if he wants me to know, he'll talk about it. Like if it's different or if it's bugging him or if he needs to talk about it, he'll talk about it. But I'm not gonna like pry into his life. Like we're talking about video games. That's what we want to talk about, and then that's it. There's no need to go deeper than that.
Yeah, women just need to know every little detail. They need to know every little detail of what's going on in their friend's life.
Everything, yeah. Which is fine. That's how that's how she is. This is how I am. Like, I want to know how he's like in a video game. We talked about how much fun we have playing video game, and then we stopped talking. Like, and then I'll talk to him next week when some meme pops up and I send it to him and we laugh, and then that's it. Like, I don't know. I'm assuming everything's fine. Otherwise, he would have said something. Wilbon says women are just nosy. So now we're getting to this weird, like, gray misogynistic area. I don't want to.
Let's just keep going with it. Let's keep snowballing down.
Talk about how toxic Star Wars is and all woke. All woke. No, kidding.
Yeah, I don't like. No, never mind. Go ahead. All right, let's just start the main pod now. 10 minutes. Let's just kick off. Let's kick off the main pod. You're muted.
I know.
She's not wrong. Wilbon, your wife is not wrong.
we are shallow. We're very shallow. I've had deep conversations before, but like you don't need to have a deep conversation all the time. Like I just don't spend the first 20 minutes of my conversations with my friends talking about deep stuff. Like I have a reason to talk to somebody and I talk to them about that. And if it leads into something more, cool. If it doesn't, that's normal.
I think you need to change your mic.
Damn it.
I think it's maybe your headphones. You sounded good before.
Hold on. Yeah, for some reason this got unplugged. This got unplugged and then it swapped and I had to go in and swap it back. I just clicked on the wrong mic. But I'm back. Anyways, yeah, we are shallow. That's just how we are. We're shallow.
Yeah. We're shallow.
And I'm okay with that. I am who I am.
Nature or something, right?
I don't know, yeah. But let's so you like toys?
They're okay. They're okay.
Yeah.
They're okay.
Let's start a podcast about toys. I mean, like we have started one. What I mean is let's start the episode about our podcast about toys.
I do love talking about figures, and there's a pretty good amount to talk about, so we might as well.
More than I thought. Yeah, we have more than I thought. So welcome to episode 75 of Black Series Cantina. I'm your co-host, Mike, and as always, I have with me Zach.
How's it going? Mike, are you a proud backer of the HasLab campaign for the Cantina that just finished? Did you one of the last minute people?
Nope. Nothing. Unless one of the tiers was a Black Series scale version.
Could you imagine if like the final tier was a Black Series figure, like a carded?
That would be so messed up.
It would be really messed up.
That would be messed up.
Yeah. Like, could you imagine if there was like a fourth tier and it was a carded Cantina collector or figure that we would never get? Like, who would it be? Muff Tack or something. Yeah,
well, it would be funny if it was a character they always wanted in TVC, but they were like, "Oh no, actually, this one's Black Series. This one's 6-inch."
If they did 6-inch Sonica Sisters instead of
yeah,
that would be really messed up.
Everyone gets their cantinas and they're like 6-inch scaled Tonica Sisters instead of 3.75 inches. That's funny.
They did that to us with Balin's skull, basically the opposite way.
They're just scaled wrong. They're 3.75 though.
Yeah. But yeah, welcome to the podcast. We thank you for checking out. If you listened to our recent episode with Wilbon, we had our figure draft, and Mike, I think you crushed me in the polls this year. So we're 1-1 officially.
Yeah, we are 1-1. My sole thing that I was going for worked out well in my favor. All the cloners pulled
Which is
through.
Baffling to me. I had the better collection, and I know I did. Listen, listeners, right now, if you voted for Mike, you got to go look yourself in the mirror, because I had the entire Imperial Army. I had all of the prequel heroes, pretty much. Episodes 1, 2, and 3. And I had heroes from the original trilogy.
You did.
And you line up 4 clones, and you...
I had all the clones. I didn't have 4 clones. I had
you line up
all
2 squads of clones, and you get the vote.
I had 2 separate squads of clones plus odds and end clones from everyone else. I also had every Old Republic figure on there, and I think that helped cinch it. I mean, I even diluted it a little bit by having Rogue One figures, and I had sequel trilogy figures in there. So, like,
you're not helping your case.
I know, but it's those cloners, man.
The cloners came out.
It's those cloners.
Yeah, baffling.
No, it happened exactly how I knew it would happen. Predictable is what it was.
True. And so I'm excited for next year again, because maybe I gotta tweak my strategy a little now.
We're gonna have a clone off. But
if Mike drafts a clone, I'm drafting the clone as well.
Next year, Wilbon's not gonna have any clones in there. He's gonna have a cloning band.
Yeah, there was like some Power of the Force figures tossed in there. There was a lot. It was random.
I also had Buff Luke, and I really think that cinched it.
That probably was the deal breaker there. You had the Buff Luke.
He had Buff He-Man Luke. That's the one that I want.
Yeah, I had the Lane Speeder Luke membership though. Yeah. That's like an automatic W. You don't got to print supports for most things. It's all seamless and easy prints.
Sure. Yeah. But that's
you had like Hunter and Crosshair, and
I had every clone, and that's all that mattered.
All clones, Disney era figures next time.
Clones sell. Anyways, so if you didn't listen to last week's episode, it was a fun episode. It was good. It was a good time. You should go listen to it. Or better yet, if you want to join our Patreon, you can watch it. Like pay a buck or two, and then hop on, watch the episode, and it's fine.
Yeah, I think that's probably the episode to watch.
Yeah.
If I had to pick that we do every year, that's probably the one you want to watch the most.
It's the one that benefits the most from seeing what's happening on screen. I will say, I went through the whole episode and I cut out so much dead air when we were choosing. So if you listen to the podcast and it's like we're rocket firing, like just name choices, and it sounds like, oh, we know what we're talking about. We have strategy and we're just picking. If you watch it, it's a lot of, yeah, man, I don't know who to choose next.
Do I still have time left? Am I out of time?
Yeah, so I cut off a lot of that stuff. It's just
probably for the best.
When you're listening to it, it's not as fun when you're there.
It's just a bunch of dead air.
Yeah,
people are like, did it pause?
Yeah, I just imagine someone driving, going like, is the episode still playing? Like, what's happening here? Because it's like 10 seconds of silence is a lot when you're listening to something.
Yeah, it is for sure. So that's why we got to do our best to constantly be talking to each other, Mike.
Yeah, no, we can't stop talking. Don't stop not talking.
All right, so I'll take over. That's why we got to like work out your chemistry with your podcast host. Do I know if he's done?
Correct.
Do I come in now?
Yeah.
Being a podcaster is kind of, because YouTube is a little different. I feel like live streams.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It feels more relaxed. Like whenever we were on the Wilbon's thing.
Yeah.
It's a lot more relaxed. But I feel like on the podcast we have to fill air like constantly. It feels like.
Well, it's also a little different, like when you're streaming, because there's always a delay. Like there's a little bit. It's hard to get those physical cues. Like if we're in the same room, I could tell like if you wanted to talk or whatever. It's easier to pick up on those signals versus like on the internet. So it's even harder sometimes. But yeah, I think it worked out pretty well. It wasn't that big of a deal for me to cut stuff out. Anyways, it was a fun time. Thanks for Wilbon for putting that together. We'll see you next year for number 3, round 3.
Yeah, figure draft 3. We got to break the tie. We're tied at 1 now. I won the first year, you won the second, so we'll come back next year, and next June or July, early July, we'll do it again.
The worst, second is the best.
Yeah, look at that. Actually, whoever came in second this year is actually the winner. So I'm actually 2-0. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at it too high of a concept. You're.
All right, so let's jump into
fine addition to my collection.
Yeah,
fine additions there. I'm gonna go first because I have nothing. So you're gonna go first.
Wow.
And last. Yeah, I have zero fine editions.
Not even like non-Star Wars stuff? You didn't print anything cool? You didn't?
I've been doing the stands still, but as far as print, and then
how much when you're printing those little stands out, how much filament do they use?
That's a good question. I think I can get 3 from a roll plus the bases and maybe a small extender. So
okay,
I did like the entire top 2 rows off 4 rolls, I think. So not bad.
Okay, all right.
Just don't do it on high infill. I mean, they're still sturdy. My only complaint about them is like the middle of them. Whenever they have a lot of figures, there's no support in the middle that touches the ground. So some of them kind of like warped down a little, and then there's like the lip of it in the front kind of bends up slightly, but it's really not that big of a deal.
Why don't you just have Luke create a little support in there?
Well, because then I'd have to reprint everything, and
That makes sense.
I've spent so long.
Well, when I get around to it, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, there you
I'm
go.
gonna figure out how to add a support in there. No, actually, I do have a lot. I do have a lot of stuff. We're gonna start non-Star Wars. First things first. I got a Transformer that I've wanted to have in my collection for, I would say, most of my entire life. It's one of those things like, it'd be really cool if we had this, and then Hasbro gave it to us, and that is a Ninja Turtle Transformer.
Oh, that's
that
cool.
goes from
Crossover.
yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, it makes sense. Like, what if the little turtle van turned into a Ninja Turtle, and this does. What's really cool that I did not do is it has stuff. It has accessories to be any turtle you want. So it's got little alternate headpieces that you can, like, this is the generic no bandana, but so there's 5 headpieces you have. One that's just generic, and then one that's red, blue, red, and orange and purple. There we go. He comes with all the Ninja Turtles weapons that store away. So all that stuff, even the tops of the heads, store away inside here. So like there's no accessories, just kind of hanging out, which is pretty neat. Mm-hmm. And then the front of the van can come off, so he has a little turtle chest. And then there's a little gimmick here where like this will open up and you can turn this and it'll be like a Ninja Turtle like letter. So it's like the belt. Yeah. So again, you can buy, if you want, you could buy 4 of these and have the Ninja Turtles, but they're $50 a piece, and I just didn't want to spend $200 to buy the same figure 4 times. Mm-hmm. Just
to complete the team.
So I've got one. I'm keeping him generic, and that's fine. It is what it is. It's a good figure, but I don't need 4 of them for sure. The second thing that I got is I got this from Toy Galaxy. This is his second little. He's been doing little Glyos figures. So I got the first one when it came out. Now I've got the second one. I like that. I got some G.I. Joes. I got this guy. His name is Torch. And he comes with
I saw you didn't like him too much.
No, I like Torch. Right? I like Torch.
Which one's one you didn't like?
I'll get there. But
okay.
Torch is one I like. He comes with a cool little flamethrower, and he's got different effects. Like this is just like just hanging out, but then he's got effects that look like they're like shooting out, stuff like that. So it's kind of fun. The one I didn't like is this guy, and his name is Nagahide, and I got him mostly because he comes with this little boar as like a little pet, and I was like, I like that boar, and he also comes with a little monkey, and the monkey has an eye patch.
No articulation on the monkey though.
Zero articulation on the monkey, but lots of articulation on the boar, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know, like his weapons he comes with are all gummy, and I don't dislike him, but he's not.
Didn't live up to your expectations.
Exactly. So that's my non-Star Wars stuff. And for Star Wars stuff, I got the entire Acolyte wave from Toy Snowman, friend of the show, Toy Snowman. And I have made a whole video on it. So if you want my full thoughts where I open them up and talk about it, it's an hour of your time you can go watch. And it's actually performing really well, which is weird for me. But probably just because people want to see the figures.
Yeah, so maybe you got them really early. So
I did get them pretty early. Like, I guess they're hitting now, but when I got them and did the video, it was not. So, but I will say I like most of them a lot. So Osha is pretty good. I like that she's got her little pip droid a lot. Like, she looks good. Let's see. I think Soul's probably my favorite of the wave. I think he looks just the best. and he's honestly probably going to be in my top 10 figures of the year, just because like he looks good and he's fun to just mess around with, even though he's not any different really from the other Jedi in the waves. I just like him a lot in terms of like how he looks. This is Yord here. I do like him a lot. The likeness looks good. I do think his neck's still a little long.
Well, it's actually not. It's not accurate right now. You gotta like.
You have to twist it all the way around.
You have to twist it for it to be how it is in the show.
Speaking of dead characters, Jackie is also really good. Although mine has a little QC issue on her boot, where it looks like when they put it on, it was too hot and it's kind of bended in a little bit. So I haven't fixed it yet. I probably won't fix it. I'll probably wait until these hit like not clearance, but when they hit like retail stores, I'll buy a Jackie and then swap the figures and return it and be like, this one came broken. That's what I'll do. But see how it's okay to do that because I'm letting them know, hey, this came broken, because it did.
That is broken. Technically true, yeah.
And I'm letting them know, and it's still the same figure. So I don't have any problem doing that. But
the soft goods looks pretty solid on that one too. On all of them, really.
The soft goods on all of them do look pretty good, but my least favorite is Indara. Just because I think I don't know if it's her robe that's too big or something, but it just doesn't hang right.
It doesn't look like it looks like it's thinner almost, but
yeah,
it's
I don't
probably
know what it is, honestly.
Yeah, it doesn't look very like fitting.
Yeah, it doesn't fit really well, no. And something that was interesting about all of it is all of their robes are sewn in the back, so you can't put the hoods up. Like they're attached. I mean, the robes aren't attached to the figures, but the hood is attached to the robe.
To the back of the robe, yeah.
Yeah, so you have to cut it out if you want to load it up. But the figure that probably surprised me the most is May. I really do think that she looks really good. I like her with her little face mask. Her knives are real small, and I did lose one earlier today when I was messing around with it, and I spent 10 minutes on the floor looking for it.
Yeah, I see you only have 3 there.
Oh, the other one's in her little...
So you did find it?
Yeah, I found it. It's in her sheath on her leg.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But those are the Acolyte Wave figures. I think that they're good. I figure even if you don't like the Acolyte as a show, which is fine if you don't, but like they're Jedi. Like what's wrong with wanting Jedi? And I don't know if we could talk about this in discussion. We could do that. But I've noticed a lot of people, and it's been happening a lot. But like a lot of people are like, oh, I don't really want Yord or Jackie or Indara because they're dead. And I'm just
yeah.
That's so weird. It's so weird to not want a character because they died. Like, I just don't understand it.
Do they have an Emperor figure on their shelf?
Right? Like, or even so.
Ben Kenobi.
Yeah. So like that's people are always like, well, they don't have a lot of screen time. Like Star Wars is like built on action figures of characters that don't have a lot of screen time. We just had a HasLab based on a scene filled with characters that had less than 10 seconds of screen time. Obi-Wan Kenobi, if you're just taking in the original trilogy, Obi-Wan Kenobi dies halfway through the movie. Like, you don't really, there's nothing going on there. He gets maybe an hour of screen time in a 2.5 hour movie. But people don't seem to care about that. But I noticed it first with the Razor Crest. When the Razor Crest exploded, while the HasLab campaign for it was going on, people were like, well, now I don't want it. Like, why? Like, why? I don't understand that. I just don't understand that mindset fundamentally. Like, it's so weird that like a character or something getting destroyed or dying makes you not want a toy of it.
Well, I think you just solved why the Rancor didn't back. Is it because
he died? It's because he died.
We saw him for 4 minutes and then he dies.
Yeah, that's right.
Right.
It's so weird. It's so weird. I mean, Jackie specifically has so many cool character moments in episode 5. Like she threw down with those two sabers. Like she was a mad child, like a feral child, swinging that lightsaber around. Like I loved it, you know.
Yeah, Jackie's pretty cool. It's unfortunate that she got the Trinity stab, the triangle,
the three hole
R.I.P.
Love it. Yeah, but yeah, that didn't make me want her less. Like it gave me a bunch of cool moments where I'm like, yeah, I would like to have her on my shelf and display her. And like when they release a Stranger figure, hands down, you know, I'm going to display them fighting. Like, and I hope we get a Kelnaka figure so that she can use Kelnaka's lightsaber and her lightsaber to have the whole dual wielding thing going on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just, you know, you collect how you want. I just think it's weird to have someone's on-screen death make you not want a toy. It's just weird.
I agree.
It's a weird mindset, but it's fine. I'm not there spending your money. You spend your money how you want. I just think it's a weird reasoning. That's all.
Yeah. Is that all your fine additions?
Those are my fine additions and a little discussion that I wanted to get off my chest. So thank you for letting me do that.
Yeah, absolutely. So now that fine additions is over and then I didn't have anything, hopefully next episode I'll have something really cool.
Yeah, we'll see.
But yeah, nothing ships for me lately and I haven't picked up anything. So let's jump into listener emails real quick. So we do have a couple to get through here. So it says, hey guys, Pickleman here. Would rather go by that name. Oh, I'm not going to read that part out. Huge fan of the show. Hope you guys keep doing it for a long, long time. That's the plan. I don't see an end in sight. Mike, do you see an end in sight for the podcast anytime soon? I can tell your mic is messed up already. We'll fix this in post, right? Or do you want me to fill? Just keep you want me to keep yapping? I'm just gonna keep yapping, and then we'll see if yours fixed. Huge fan of the show. Hope you guys keep doing it for a long time. That is the plan. As a big EU fan, I was wondering what would be some EU-centric Black Series figures you would love seeing in the line. Give me two options. One that you can see happening, and one that you don't think we'll ever get. I think mine would be Kyle Katarn. It's an easy possibility. That's definitely an easy possibility. And then my Hail Mary pick would be Phase Zero Dark Trooper from Battlefront 2. Keep rocking on. Wishing you the wonderful rest of 2024. Pick one. That's an excellent question because I'm not big on the EU, but I guess if we're doing like Battlefront stuff, you know, then that makes it easier for me to answer. I would see one as a possibility would be the Rocket Trooper, like the 501st Jet Trooper with the rocket. And then the one I don't think would happen, and this is classic Battlefront 2, the 2005 version, would be the it's like the Dark Trooper, or that trooper that shoots like the pulse electricity, the big gray one. That's really cool. I don't think that Stormtrooper would necessarily happen. And I know Wilbon's always wanted a Kyle Katarn, so that'd be a slam dunk for him. He says in the chat, Mike, is your mic fix? He's back.
It is. I'm back. Yeah. Firstly, to answer your question, I mean, I'm assuming at some point it's going to end, but I don't see it happening anytime soon. Secondly, I mean, I feel like there's so many, but probably Kyle Katarn is a big one for me as well. Just because, like, he was a big part of like gaming. Like, I played Dark Forces when it came out and was like 1993. Like, I was really big on Dark Forces 2 when that was a big part of my Star Wars experience, because that was back in the mid 90s where like all we had was the OT and just books and games, and that was it. Again, like there weren't really cartoons. Like the Ewoks and Droids cartoons happened, but there wasn't a way to really watch them. Again, you know, like there was something that happened back in the 80s, and there wasn't a reliable way to experience it again. Like there wasn't just a good way to get Star Wars, so you kind of picked it up when you could get it. So video games like that were huge. Mm-hmm. So definitely would love a Kyle Katarn.
And then next up, We have Great and Unfreed. Do you think Zam Wessel will ever come out? I think that'd be a Black Series figure that would do pretty well in my opinion. Attack of the Clones, Changeling. You can with an alt face. They would have to have an alt face or head.
If they did a Zam Wessel without at least 2 alt faces, like or alt heads, they would need the shriveled one that's the actual changeling face. They would need the girl, which is like the standard one. Like if you would need that, but I feel like they would need at least one other face too, just to like.
You think so, and not just the 2 we see on? See, I feel like if they do it, I feel like they're only giving us the 2. I don't think we're getting
probably.
third.
No, you're probably right.
Right, it'll be specifically Attack of the Clones for that scene where it changes.
Yeah,
you know, or they'll do mainline with just the female regular face, and then they'll do like a Walmart exclusive. They'll pull a Balin and Shin on us with like the
or it'll be a
face.
convention exclusive.
Yeah.
It'll have the extra accessory in it,
just like what Ponda Baba's fin.
Exactly.
Right. Suction cup type hands.
Yeah.
And we did get a response from. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say or Toto 360. They like to do that, or like the armor that had extra accessories in it with the.
Yeah. Like the armor with the soft good.
Yeah. It also had like the heated weapons and like the helmet that looked like it was getting worked on and stuff. Yeah.
Which I really need that because I actually recently broke my armorer hammer, and I tried to super glue it back together, but it's so tiny it just doesn't want to work. So I have her on the shelf right now with the big giant pliers, you know.
Yeah.
But having like the actual helmet with the welding mark on it or the heat would be really cool. We did get a response from Ian. I think last podcast I was saying his name was Lane because I didn't necessarily know the pronunciation of it.
Yeah. Yep.
But it is Ian, and then Ian goes on to say, loving the show, keep up the enthusiasm for all things Star Wars. Also, it's great to hear you guys collect other lines alongside Black Series. I have dabbled in some McFarlane, Dune Adventure, Avatar figures, but my biggest collection outside of Black Series for me is Jurassic Park, World Legacy, and Hammond collection. Needless to say, I go hungry. So he spent a lot of money on toys, like we all are. I think we're all spending a ton on figures. I have a lot currently on pre-order. I think I have, luckily, so I think I mentioned this on the podcast, that I had like $300 and something in pre-orders for Palpatine and the mixed combined with the SPD, across multiple retailers to see what shipped first, and it paid off. We'll talk about this a little later, but my Sidious shipped. So the strategy. Nice. So now I canceled all the other ones. So now my pre-order number is lower, which it really has me excited because the really high number is dwindled down, which is always fun. But so before we jump into news, we want to do a little Patreon plug real quick. So if you enjoy the podcast and you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/blackseriescantina. We have a tier for every budget, $2, $5, or an $11.38 tier. That gets you access to join us live. And then the $5 tier gets you access to the video of the podcast. So you can watch us on YouTube if you prefer, that being your medium to absorb content. You have anything to add, Mike?
No, I don't have anything to add. I've got zero to add. You're spot on so far, but we have a laundry list of things to talk about.
Yeah, and I did forget, if you want to join the email segment for next episode, email us blackseriescantina@gmail.com.
I was saying that while you were bringing up the email, and my microphone stopped working for some reason. I'll probably have to buy a new microphone. Is what's happening. But if you like the listener email segment, that we'll do that as long as emails come in. So if we don't do it, it's because we didn't get any emails.
True. So keep the email segment alive. Send in questions for the show. They don't even necessarily have to be questions. They can be statements. Tell us what reveals you liked, what reveals you didn't like. All right, how about let's do a challenge. people email us your thoughts on the Cantina HasLab and your thoughts on the Halloween 2-pack, which we'll talk about later on in the show, and then we'll read them on next week's pod or our next episode. All right, so let's jump into the news. Mike, there's a HasLab campaign that ended.
Not anymore. It's done.
It is over. It finished at 14,737. Are you surprised it hit that 14,000 number mark?
No, I honestly, that's about where I was kind of expecting it after the first week or so, seeing the numbers. It was pretty clear it wouldn't hit all 3 tiers. I was a little surprised how close it cut it to hit that second tier, because it was like 20 minutes before.
It hit right at like 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah. But it is pretty much exactly what I expected it to hit. As long as it funded, I knew it was going to get a surge at the end, because if it didn't fund, there's no reason for people to jump on at the end, really, because a lot of those people that jump on at the end are getting it because it's like a sure thing. So they're just putting money on it to be part of it, essentially. But if it's not funded, then they don't have any reason to jump onto it. So while there's still people that back it at the end because they don't understand that it doesn't charge until the end anyway.
Until the end.
Or they just feel weird pre-ordering something until they absolutely can't not pre-order anymore. Like, they always just procrastinate to the end. Like, that's always people too. But a lot of it is just people jumping in on kind of the bandwagon of, oh man, it's a thing that's happening. I don't want to miss out. So I'll get one too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those carded figures are going to be worth so much for the people that hold on and piece it out and wait a little bit.
Oh, for sure. And I think the fact that it relatively, it didn't fund all the way, which means there are fewer people backing this than most others. So they are going to be a lot. I mean, there's only going to be 14,737 of these out there. That's it. Yeah. You know, Hasbro's not. I mean, I will say
that's not a lot. You know, that's pretty small for Hasbro. Yeah.
Oh no, that people see that number and assume that it's a lot, but it's really not. In terms of,
if that were dollars, that's a good amount of dollars. But
sure. But no, in terms of, how much they usually make for this stuff, that's so small.
Yeah. But yeah, I didn't back it either. I considered it like only if it would have hit that last tier, just to kind of wait a bit and piece it out. But because now there's less money.
But it didn't back because you didn't do it. If you had just done it, it could have backed. It could have been 14,738.
I didn't either. I didn't really even care to help it, honestly. Yeah, no. I mean, it's not something I was like, if it hits that 17, I'll consider it at then, but then I didn't really care to keep the push going or anything for me personally. But the Rancor, that's something I wanted, so I was like trying to get people.
For sure.
I promoted that thing. Like, I've still promoted the Cantina pretty good. I made 8 TikToks about it. I probably wouldn't have done that if it wasn't just taking Hasbro's content and getting paid for it. But I did help. I did help.
Well, it's one of those things. Even though I don't collect that, I still don't want to see it to fail. I don't want the brand to suffer, even though it's something I don't collect and don't really care about. Like, if it failed, that still hurts Star Wars. Like, I don't see it as us versus them, 3.75 versus 6-inch. I just see it all as Star Wars. I don't have to collect it all. And that's just a segment I don't collect, but I still want it to do well. And I'm very happy for the people who wanted it. A lot of friends of the show, Victoria, Jake, I'm pretty sure Ken.
Nate got it.
Yeah, Nate. I mean, all these people wanted this, and now they get to have it. And that's very good for them.
Yeah, Wilbon got it, so he's the Black Series Cantina person that's getting it.
There you go.
So, our VIP, our deluxe VIP.
We'll have him on when it comes in a year or whatever, a year and a half, so he can tell us all of his thoughts.
Perspective from a Black Series collector, but he's a certified TVCer now. He has so many 3.75 inch figures for it now.
He's slid down that slippery slope into the Happy Meal figures.
You can't even trust your closest bros these days. All right, so moving on. The Acolyte Wave is hitting retail stores. It's a little bit of news. Mike got them in way early from Toy Snowman.
From Toy Snowman.
But if you go to Walmart, there's a halfway decent chance that sorry, I'm getting distracted by a comment in the chat. There's a decent chance if you walk into Walmart right now that you'll see the Acolyte Wave. And they were in stock on Entertainment Earth a couple of days ago. They were hot off the truck.
Yeah.
But now they're on now they're back on pre-order, I think.
Yeah.
Wilbon, stop distracting me in the chat.
Stop looking at him. Stop reading chat.
I gotta block it out. I gotta block it.
But yeah, so I've seen a lot of posts on social media, especially Facebook, of people finding the Acolyte Wave at Walmart in the last couple of days. So that's nice. That means that it is going to be hitting soon. And again, it's the first full mainline wave of the year, and we're over halfway. We're over halfway through the year, and we've just now got our first full mainline wave. All the other figures that have come out have all been fan channel exclusive or exclusive to specific stores. So Kiadi the Clone Troopers, all of that stuff.
SPD and Droid 2-pack. It's all Pulse and fan channel and all that.
Nothing so far has just been like a mass release mainline item. It's all been exclusives, fan channels, things like that. So this is the first thing that we've gotten this year that's been a full normal wave of figures. It's so weird, but
that is really wild.
It is. It really is. Hopefully it's not going to be our last, but I don't even know. I don't think we know what the next wave is, or I think, I don't know if we know what the next wave is, honestly, like of mainline figures.
Yeah, I bet it's on Yak Face's website. So I'm gonna.
I think he's pieced together one with like the pretty Ahsoka and like the Thrawn and stuff. That's not scheduled to come out till next year.
But that's next year though. That's 2025.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm on his website now, so I'm gonna try to find it real quick.
I wonder if it's gonna be something that's gonna be associated with like Skeleton Crew or something like that.
So we have August 2024 says Osha, Soul, Jekki, the Acolyte Wave. And this says November 2024 as Thrawn, Ahsoka, Peridia, Deidre, Imperial Armored Commando, Darth Maul, which is the one from the single pack from the 3-pack. And
again, a lot of these aren't officially announced yet. I mean, they've been pipelined, but they haven't been revealed.
And then there's 3 of them that are not revealed yet.
I'm guessing they're Skeleton Crew figures, probably
so. And that says November 2024, but that Grand Admiral Thrawn said it wasn't going to be for like spring 2025.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if that was a placeholder and it's going to come out sooner than that. That would be my guess.
And then for other mainline, I guess there's not any. That's kind of as far as we know on.
Yeah, that's kind of it. Everything else has just been fan channel or store exclusive, like Target, Walmart, Amazon, things like that.
Yeah, because Anakin and Padme was fan channel. PID and Clone is fan channel.
The Super Battle Droid and Emperor Palpatine are Darth Sidious are fan channel.
Yeah, crazy. And then. So we have some, maybe that next wave will be some of those other pipelines like the Luke and Leia we got and the Dagan Gera. Maybe that'll be the next main line, but kind of weird. So hopefully we'll get some announcements here soon. Yeah. What's the next big thing we have coming up? San Diego Comic-Con?
Comic-Con in like 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, end of July. That's right. It's usually when SDCC is. So, and then you brought up Darth Sidious and the Super Battle Droid. They are shipping from retailers now. Mine shipped from Entertainment Earth, and I've seen some other folks say that it's hit their pile of loots on Big Bad. So if you pre-order, be on the lookout. They should be charging very quickly.
I will say Toy Snowman has gotten the Super Battle Droids, but he hasn't gotten Sidious yet. Because I told him, he sent me a message, like, I think it was last Friday. He's like, hey, I got these. I was like, I want 2, but like, don't send them until you have a Sidious, because I only want one of those. And I always feel bad, just like, ship me one figure. Like, I figured I could save him shipping.
Yeah.
You know, because he always.
You are getting a pretty good deal.
Well, it gives me free shipping at the very least on on these.
Yeah.
So yeah. But he does. He sometimes gives me a little discount, but I still pay for them. I still pay money for them. He's not sending me stuff for free, which is what I want to stress. I'm not like shilling out his store for free toys, but
as nice as that would be, that's not what Mike is doing.
No,
but Kirby, he sent us in our Black Series Cantina VIP private Instagram chat. He found him in GameStop Canada. So if you live in Canada, hit up a GameStop. You might find that Darth Sidious laying right there on the peg. And then Yakface did post that Ahsoka Pridia is probably going to be the next pre-order for Black Series. So be on the lookout for that. I think I'm probably in on that one. I would really like for it to have the soft goods.
Sure.
I like that Ahsoka look for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely a look I want. I'm hoping that whatever they release first will be like the complete version, and they won't release a better version sometime down the way.
Yeah,
they won't.
Sure. Yeah, good luck.
Yeah, they won't Balin mercenary Balin or was it Arcadia or whatever the Shinhati?
Yeah, something like that.
Whatever that is. Yeah, just suddenly give us cloaks.
Yeah. So that's probably what they're going to do, because the pipeline image for this figure was specifically from a scene in which he didn't have the
cloak. I if they do that, I think I might wait, because I know they're going to release.
I mean, honestly, that's probably true now that I think about it, because if they've now shown us that they're willing, because they've really never done that before. Like they've never released a mainline figure.
With the last Ahsoka.
Yeah, they put it in the Amazon 3-pack. But that seems less scummy than just it's like a single pack re-release.
Well, it was also a lot later. Like it wasn't like later.
Yeah. So the Balin and Shin thing, just the Balin specifically, just seems so shitty, so scummy. So honestly, it's kind of their fault. I am gonna wait on the Ahsoka if it doesn't have soft goods, and then whenever they do the Target exclusive Ahsoka or Walmart exclusive,
or Walmart exclusive,
that has the cloak, that's the one, like, they've shown their hand. So it's only their fault if people wait to get that and wait on the road. And then if a year goes by, you can probably get that Ahsoka. If so many people waited, you can probably get it for $14.99.
Well, no, if it's anything like Hasbro's done so far, they will re-release that mold like 100 times, because they've re-released that original Ahsoka at least 6 times.
So do we think, well, I guess there has to be some different sculpting, because, well...
Oh, yeah, no, it's got to be different.
It's got to be. Do you think the legs will just be repainted white or something, and then they'll just?
I hope not, because I would say they're different enough to merit their own sculpting. But I will say I don't know what their budget's looking like. But the Acolyte wave is all new sculpting. Like there's not really any reuse in any of those figures.
Oh wow.
Even though most of them are Jedi, like they're all unique sculpts.
Yeah, they're all like different heights and stuff.
They're all different heights, different chests, different hands. None of them are even the Osha and they have the same. I think they have the same face, but they have different hair, and they have obviously different bodies. So
they penny pinched where they could. They were like, we have to reuse the same face.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's our quick little news segment. Now we have, Mike, I have a confession.
What's your confession?
We have a reveal, and I did not make a slideshow.
That's okay. I think we'll be okay for our one reveal. Was this a purposeful reveal is my question. Because it kind of happened super late at night. It went up on Amazon and immediately was not taken down, but taken out of stock. So you couldn't pre-order it. As far as I don't know anyone that's actually pre-ordered it.
Well, apparently, I wish, Kirby, you live in Canada, let us know. But somebody said you can actually, it's up for GameStop Canada.
Interesting.
Right, or not GameStop, Amazon CA.
Interesting.
Right now. But this is the Inquisitor Enderos Bounty Hunter Halloween Edition 2-pack. So Yakface said there were 3 Halloween figures, so it looks like we still have one more this year.
Or I wonder if that third one is the re-release of the Clone Trooper, because that's apparently coming. because Yak Face confirmed that is being re-released.
Yeah, I guess that probably would be. Well, would that count as a third one, or that would just?
I don't. That's what I'm asking. That's what I'm kind of afraid of. Is the Halloween Clone Trooper going to be the third one, or are we getting a third one?
Like a third new, like a new one.
Right.
I kind of hope it's a new. I like the Halloween ones more than I do the Christmas ones personally.
Same.
And I know I actually kind of dig this. I'm not gonna lie. I think there is a little bit of a missed opportunity with Count Dooku not being Dracula, but the Grand Inquisitor is still a good Dracula repaint because he already has the cape. I know Count Dooku has a cape too, but aesthetically this works with the.
I don't think this is a bad. I mean, Dooku worked on multiple levels because Christopher Lee is Christopher Lee. You know, being Dracula. Like I get it, but this still works, and I think it works still really well for sure.
Yeah, I agree. And so specifically, what do you think of the Cad Bane's like Frankenstein type repaint?
I mean, I love these. I love these so much. This is the exact correct amount of stupid for me. Like, if someone's like, I don't like those, they're stupid. I'm like, yes, they are. And I get if you don't. I get it if you don't like it. But for me, this is my jam. This is what I want.
Also, that purple and black Minoc.
It looks so good.
That's so cool. I love the purple paint. I love the purple wings on it. It could just be a different
species of Minoc. Like, that's a good little thing to have on your shelf. I don't know what the Inquisitor's accessories are. Like, he comes with that stick.
I think that came with an Ewok, the stick, and then I think I tracked it down.
It was the full stick, though. That's just like the top part of the stick, which is weird.
Yeah, and then I think I realized, I saw somebody, the dagger that the Grand Inquisitor has, I think that's Luthen's.
Luthen. It's on Luthen, yeah. So my thought was, is that like a stake? Is that like the stake to kill him or whatever?
Oh, yeah, maybe.
But it's a knife. I mean, it's clearly a knife.
Yeah, I just realized in this picture that they have the repainted Babu Frick riding the Minoc. That's actually really funny.
It's really funny. Yeah, I don't love honestly the Babu Frick is my least favorite part. I feel like their go-to repaint is always Babu Frick.
Yeah, he's been in a couple of them now, right?
He's been
why?
There have been 2 different repaints of Babu Frick in the holiday set stuff. We just don't need another Babu Frick. We just don't. But there hasn't been a Halloween version. Like, I kind of get it.
Yeah, so now you have your Christmas Babu and your Halloween Babu. So next we'll get our
Christmas Babus and a Halloween Babu.
2 Christmas Babus and a Halloween. So next we need like a Valentine's Day Babu.
Yeah, I was going to say, give us like a
Babu.
Yeah, give us. But I mean, I love that the Frankenstein Cad Bane comes with the little staff.
Yeah, the Magna Guard staff.
They came with the Magna Guard because that is what a Frankenstein would have. Like it looks like the little electricity stuff that was used to bring him back to life. Like that's a good mold to use. It's the Book of Boba Fett Cad Bane without his hat. He's got a really good paint job on it. This is so dumb. I love it.
What a sentence. Yeah, I actually kind of like it because if you're thinking about Halloween figures, like this is the 2-pack is crazy. I love 2-packs. I think it also retails. It's going to retail for $44.99.
45. Yeah, 45.
Yeah. So that's less than the cost of 2 figures. If you don't like it, and if you want it and you don't like it, I feel like holiday figures are usually pretty popular. They usually sell out because I don't think they have a huge run on them or anything. And I've seen them in secondhand stores and on eBay for like $40-$50. So if you're hating on these, I think people like them. I got a lot of TikTok comments saying
there are people that think they're dumb, and like I said, that's okay. You can think,
that's fine.
Yeah,
but there is a market for these figures.
I mean, literally, that
a
person
lot of them do well.
In the comment of what you're looking at, this person's like dumbest thing ever. Like
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dumbest thing ever. Yeah,
dumbest thing ever. But I mean, and it kind of is. But I just don't think that makes it a bad thing.
yeah, exactly. It's not
Yeah.
like there's worse things they could do. I think this is better than I like the Halloween and holiday stuff better than the carbonized.
I would take this
say.
over Holocom. I would take this over Carbonized, and I would take this over Credit Collection.
Credit Collection. Yeah. See, I still like if they want to do, the Holocom and Credit Collection, but just keep it to like the main characters and do like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah,
And then they do these. They
do
like
5
they
or
did like
6.
3 full waves of
Yeah.
Credit Collection, and they did a ton of Carbonized, and then now we have Holocom figures that nobody's gonna buy. Like, why do we have a May and OSHA Holocom? Like, that's the most ridiculous thing of all time.
Yeah, I only they
But-
got to get their money's worth out of those molds because
Yeah.
they're new.
But
They're
the
new
Vader
molds.
Holocom,
Vader Holocom is what I'm getting for sure.
Yeah, that's the only one I'm getting. And if they ever do it, I know Yakface rumored the Emperor Holocom in my Instagram comment, so that's probably one I'll pick up. But other than that, I don't see me getting any of the other Holocom. But I do like the Halloween ones a lot. I still have, it's funny, I have the Werewookie and the Clone Trooper. I got them when they came out, and I've never opened them still, and they're PFP.
Oh
So
man,
I could not.
yeah,
have
you could have anything in there. Yeah, mine are the only holiday ones I actively display. Like they're on my display over here because I like them so much. I don't have any holiday figures on display other than those 2.
I think it's because I got those the day after Halloween in the mail.
They did
Right.
come after Halloween. It was 2022 because nothing
Yeah.
came out last year, and it was kind of a bummer to
And
get
then-
them.
Last Halloween season, I never this Halloween I'll pull them out. I'll pull them out this year.
I didn't talk about that. I did want to talk about briefly because that reminded me of it. Is the new box? My first experience with the new box was the Acolyte wave, and I have to say, I like it. It's basically all the pluses of the old Redline box with the pluses of the mural still on the galaxy coloring and organization. But I think my favorite part is on the bottom. There's like a nice little place for your finger to open it up. Like I don't remember that being.
Oh, nice.
any of
No,
them.
that's not.
Yeah, so like there, you cut the one piece of tape on the bottom, and there's a little spot for your fingers.
So you don't have to stick your finger under the lid
Correct.
of the back piece and try to pry it out.
Yeah, you just right there, and you don't have to worry about tearing it or anything. It's just right there. And the new GI Joe, because I got the
The
torch came in a
old
box like this.
definitely.
Yeah.
Galaxy definitely doesn't have that.
Yeah.
It's just that
so
tape.
I think all the new boxes are gonna have this, like Marvel Legends and GI Joe and stuff that have the
Yeah, that's cool. That's
kinda
a good
box shape.
feature.
Yeah, I like it, but I think I like the new boxes. I do.
Yeah, they look pretty sleek. They've grown on me a lot. I think they are going to be better than the Galaxy packaging for sure. So that's all for like news and reveals we have. So not a ton, but a decent amount. Do you want to do a quick ranking of the packagings real quick? Like, what's your favorite Black Series box?
I think the newest one, honestly.
The
'Cause
newest
before
one?
I would have said Galaxy line, because I liked that they're putting figures so you could tell where they're intended to come from. Because that was my big problem with the red box line, which I liked better than blue and orange line. Was the red box line? I liked the shape and the size, but then like when you got like a Mace Windu, you're like, what movie is this supposed to be from? Like, where do I put this on my shelf? Like, I could put it where I want, but where did they intend for it to be? So with the Galaxy line, they're like, okay, this one is from A New Hope. This one is from The Phantom Menace. And you had the packaging that kind of reflected that.
Yeah.
I really like that, and I really like the mural, but I did not like the angled sides. I thought that was such a stupid idea to have angled sides. And so with the new packaging, they fixed that. You don't have the angled side, you still have the mural, but but you get all the pluses for the red box line. So I like that the best.
Did you like the orange or the blue line packaging better?
I think I like the blue line packaging better.
Because is it more? Because did you say you like it more open?
Yeah, it's more open.
See, I like aesthetically against the black cardboard. I like the orange color,
Sure, that makes sense.
and it felt like more of a, I guess, a premium
Yeah,
collector item. And the blue ones I liked, especially for like the bigger, because you could put bigger figures in it, like Chewbacca, because that's the reason they switched. Because
that's the reason they switched. Yeah,
there's that infamous, figure picture of Chewbacca in the orange line packaging, and his legs are
he's
all
all
bent
squished up. Yeah,
sideways.
he's all squished. Yeah.
That might be the rarest figure ever, if in the Hasbro office somewhere, if there's like a red,
Yeah,
like
they
line
definitely
Chewbacca,
made some. Yeah, they didn't go into production, but they definitely made some for.
Yeah, there's got to be a version out there of it.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think I prefer the orange line over blue, but Galaxy over all of them. I think Galaxy was really good for its time, and then now we have like the best of everything combined with these.
It really is
packaging. Yeah.
It really is the best of everything combined.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to getting my first one, and I guess it might be probably Jackie, because I'm hoping to go to Walmart soon and seeing those on the shelf.
Good luck to you on that.
I know, right?
What is that the only one you're planning on picking up from the Acolyte wave? Is Jackie?
No, so I think I'm gonna get, because I'm still in and out on Acolyte, which we'll talk about a little later.
Yeah, we'll talk about that. Yep.
But as far as figures go, I'm probably gonna get the Stranger whenever they announce it or release it.
Sure.
And then I'll probably get Soul, Jackie, and Yord. And that's probably all right now for the Acolyte figures, because that's kind of the part. I mean, we can just go ahead and jump into Acolyte real quick if you, or do you want to do Hall of Fame?
Let's do Hall of Fame, and then we can jump into Acolyte.
All right, yeah. All right, so let's put a figure in the Hall of Fame. Last week, I keep saying, why do we always say last week whenever we record every other week?
Yeah.
It's so hard, and we've been doing this for 75 episodes, and it's still so hard. Last episode, we put in Fennec Shand, which is, in my opinion, an absolute amazing figure, so that had to make it, and Mike rightfully agreed. So now, I didn't come prepared with a figure to bring up, so I'm going to try to find one. I don't know if you have one off the top of your head.
I mean, I have a whole list of them here. I think this week is the week we either put in the 2020 Stormtrooper or Return of the Jedi Boba Fett.
Ooh, both of those are so good.
Or Clone Wars Obi-Wan. I think one of those should go in.
One of those three.
Year. One of those three.
I agree. So we have 2020 Stormtrooper, Return of the Jedi Boba Fett, which is a deluxe.
Yep.
And the Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. My vote is going to go with the 2020 Stormtrooper. That's my vote. So what are you feeling right now?
I think I was honestly, I'm even on all of them. Like, I like them all about at the same level. I think the only thing that would keep me from Boba Fett is they did make him deluxe, but like I don't think he's not worth deluxe. But if I'm comparing him to the other two figures, and someone was like, which of these three should I pick up? I have to say, like, you need a Stormtrooper for your collection.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I intend these Hall of Fame figures to be. Like, if someone wants to know what figures they should have in their collection, these are, in my opinion, this list should be like definitive. This is the figure you should have in your collection based on what we have right now. Obviously, I can't account for the future. If they somehow do a future Stormtrooper and it's better than like the 2020 Stormtrooper, then obviously I'm going to switch to that. But for right now, I think the 2020 Stormtrooper is really good. And everyone that collects Star Wars figures should have one in their collection.
Yeah, so my vote is 2020 Stormtrooper.
Same.
So is that the one?
It.
All right. And I know Wilbon, every week or every episode in the chat, Wilbon's been pining for the 2020 Stormtrooper. So Wilbon finally gets his wish.
Removing that from my list now. It's officially done.
Okay, perfect. All right, so 2020 Stormtrooper is officially number 7 in the Black Series Hall of Fame, and Kirby puts in a vote for the Trooper as well.
All right. Well, Kirby is the one that actually put it over for me then. Because I was still on the fence. But if Kirby likes it, I'm in.
All right, perfect. Our Black Series VIP Kirby to the
That's
rescue there.
To the rescue.
All right, so now we can jump into some Acolyte spoilers.
Yeah. So I titled this episode "The Acolyte is All Right" mostly because I didn't know what else to title it based on what I knew we were going to talk about in the episode. And like next week, we'll talk about obviously the finale and like our final thoughts, but it will also have been over for an entire week by the time we record an episode. So it'll kind of be old news by then. So I figured like we'd probably talk more about it this episode than next episode.
Yeah, that's about true. But yeah, as far as figures go, I'm probably going to get with, Yord, Soul, Jeki, and then the Stranger when he comes out. Because that's kind of the part of the show that I like. The other parts of the show haven't really grabbed me yet. Like, it's fine. I think it's like, it's just kind of okay for me. Like the twin backstory stuff is okay. I think episode 5 and 6 were pretty good in my opinion. Yeah. And then what's the one we just watched? 7? I think that one, I think it was fine. It just still hasn't grabbed me. Like the other parts of the story haven't grabbed me to the point where I kind of wish the show didn't involve the twins and it was more about Soul and Chimere kind of struggling and kind of playing like a tug of war over who?
They have to like someone's got to be the apprentice. I think
them over an Acolyte, and that could be the Acolyte. I mean, it could have been Osha, but then just drop the whole twin thing.
Well, I think that's gonna play into it somehow. I feel like we just don't have the full story. My hope is by the end of the next episode, the last episode, all of that stuff will make sense because that's the only mystery we still have. Is obviously, and this is full spoilers for anyone listening. If you don't want to spoil anything. Stop listening now. But I thought they brought up a lot more questions about at least the twins in episode 7 than they answered, because
about the whole Virgins thing.
Yeah, the Virgins thing. Like, how did they create them? And more importantly, why did they create them? Because it did seem like there was a specific reason that prompted them to create them. Because even in that episode, I think it was Indara said like witches don't create. They don't do that. That's not something they do.
That's why I kind of think the other witch, the Zabrak one, I think she might be Chimere's master.
I think that's a good bet. I will say, because we didn't. I think the 2 episodes we haven't talked about is 6 and 7. In episode 6, which I really liked as an episode, I liked that one a lot because we got a lot of cool story from Chimere's perspective. They're kind of humanizing him a little bit, giving it his side of stuff. And one of the things they show is that scar on his back. Which is distinctly, in my opinion, whip-shaped. And in that episode, they went out of their way to show you that one of the Jedi Masters has a lightsaber whip. Specifically.
Yeah, Vernestra Rowe.
Vernestra has a light. And that's people... The people that have been following High Republic knew that. Like, they knew that from the moment that they announced that she was in the show, because that's like her thing. She has a lightsaber whip. But I would like the average person doesn't know that. They don't the normal person just watching it because it's something to watch or whatever, they don't go, oh, Vernestra, she has a lightsaber whip.
I mean, like the Star Wars fan myself didn't know that, and I'm a Star Wars fan. I just
my wife didn't know that. Yeah, exactly. I would say only the hardcore people that follow High Republic stuff knew that. So they went out of their way to show in a scene of her using it that, oh, this is a lightsaber whip. And then they're in that same episode, here's a person who used to clearly be a Jedi because he's been through the Padawan training. Like he
mentioned it.
He mentioned it. His helmet is a sensory deprivation thing. Just like that, he said, just like you had when you were going through training and stuff. And then he has a wound on his back that's a lightsaber. It looks like a whip wound, not a lightsaber wound, but it specifically doesn't look like a lightsaber wound to me. Like it's not a blaster shot. It's not a lightsaber slash. It's like a curved kind of thing. So clearly it's from the lightsaber whip. So I think
it almost looks like it could be electricity. It's like in an electricity shape a little bit. Like it curves, then it has a jagged another one. So I feel like she probably whipped him like 800 times. You know?
Maybe. But I think
she's evil.
I think he used to be her Padawan, because she's also very old. She's like 100 years old, because she's in the High Republic books that take place like 100 years before this. So I think there's something going on there. We obviously don't know like who's his master, like who's he following. Obviously, like he's trying to get his own apprentice to overthrow whoever that is. So there's more to find out about, and obviously we're gonna find. I really hope we find out about that in the last episode. But that's to me is what's going to hinge on how much I like the show. Whether it's going to be a mid show with some really cool scenes in it, or if it's going to be a great show with some places where there was bad pacing and weak dialogue. Because that's how it's going to be. I don't think it's going to be bad either way. Because like again, we've had Star Wars with bad dialogue and bad pacing. That's not new to Star Wars. And we've had Star Wars that's bad, but with some cool scenes. So that's not new to Star Wars. But how much I like it is really going to depend on how well they land that last episode.
Yeah, so far I have the same feeling with Acolyte that I do have like with like the Phantom Menace and Attack of the Clones.
Sure.
Like some of the scenes are really cool, and it has an interesting story.
Yeah.
I just think I just feel like with the Acolyte, I feel like the episodes are too short to give us a lot of what's the word I'm trying to say? Like to make me more, because I feel like right when I get invested in it, it just cuts off.
It ends. Yeah.
And
this is going to be something that will benefit from just sitting down and watching straight through, like binge.
Yeah, I think a second watch, because there is a lot going on, like with it. There's a lot to try to think about. The show's like throwing all these things at you. I think a second watch and then like sort of a binge watch, like watch three or four episodes at a time, will help this. And I feel like I'm getting the sense with a lot of the Disney Plus stuff that some of it they might have been really great movies, like the Kenobi show specifically, where you just kind of chop. But the Acolyte, it's like it might be better. I think it'd be better if they made it longer. You know, give either the 12 episode treatment.
Agreed. So, and that's, I think, I don't know if we talked about that or if we talked about that with someone else, but I think the fact that it doesn't have arcs is a big thing. Andor was kind of the same way, where when they gave us those first two episodes, and both episodes just kind of ended, where it's just like story, end, story, end. But then you get to that third episode and you have like a nice tight little complete kind of arc where you're like, oh, I did like that. And then they do the same thing with like the next three episodes where we have the heist thing where I'm like, oh, that was fun too. And then the next three episodes where it's like he's in prison, you're like, oh, I like that, where they have little arcs of story chunks. But the Acolyte doesn't have that. It's got 8 episodes and it's like an 8-episode story. And so every time at the end of the episode, you're like, okay, what? That was it?
And the fact that some of them are like 25 minutes, and it's just like,
they're pretty short.
Like if you're gonna try to have a complex mystery type thing, you need to give people time to get invested in the story, and then keep them there, and not right whenever they're like, oh, I'm kind of interested in this, like, and then that episode ends, and then the next one you gotta wait a whole week.
I think that's an absolutely valid complaint, but I gotta say I'm the opposite of Wilbon. As I started off, like the first 2 or 3 episodes, I was like, it's good, but like it's not my favorite thing. There's things I liked about it. Like I really like those autopilot chair droids for some reason. Like that just spoke to me.
Yeah, those are cool from the first episode.
Cool.
Yeah,
and there's like cool ideas in it, but it was like, it's fine. It's not my favorite thing in the world, but like it's watchable. To me, it was like mid-level Clone Wars, where it wasn't the best Star Wars, but it wasn't the worst Star Wars that I've seen.
I agree with that because I think last podcast I mentioned
Yeah.
I think I wasn't really in, and then episode 5 was really good, and then I thought
Yeah.
episode 6, because episode 6 was like mostly just dialogue.
Yeah.
You know, it was just character dialogue, and I liked that, and there was
Me
just
too.
characters, like mostly the Chimere stuff, you know,
Yep.
going back with, and then explaining how he used to be a Jedi and all that stuff. Like all the
Yeah.
Chimere stuff was good. I think the end scene in episode 6 of Soul, telling May like I've had 16 years, like now you're gonna listen. I thought, and then I thought that was good.
Yeah.
OSHA, Chimere tempting OSHA in a very human-like way,
I
and
thought
then
that- I
her
thought that
putting
that
on the
was-
helmet was really
Yeah.
good.
I thought that was better and more believable than Anakin Skywalker falling.
Oh yeah, I mean Anakin's was mega rushed.
Yeah.
Anakin's fall
and that was a
I mean-
that was a movie. Like
Yeah,
But I feel like the way he talked to her, the way he's, you know, obviously she was raised a Jedi, and then like the last couple episodes, she's like, what's happening? What's all this stuff? My sister's still alive. I thought she was dead. Everyone's telling me the Jedi are lying to me or whatever. And suddenly this buff naked dude is like, you're having problems. Let me help you out. Like to me, all of that was a lot more believable than Anakin Skywalker suddenly slicing Mace Windu's hand off and being like, well, I did that. I guess I'll submit to Emperor Palpatine or whatever. You know, like that just I never bought that. Like he
Yeah.
just was like, where he's just like, I guess I'm this far in. I'll go all the way in. Why not?
yeah. It's also one thing if we're like with Anakin, like he makes the
Yeah.
turn and to save Palpatine, but then it's like such a sharp turn. It's like, okay,
It's such a sharp
I'm killing kids now. You know,
Right?
it's so fast.
He went from, no, I have to save my wife. We can't kill this guy. And he disarmed Mace, literally, but it was to stop him from killing Palpatine, to, I'm going to go murder some children
Yeah,
real fast.
yeah. Not the best writing there, but
it
you know,
was-
hey,
it wasn't.
it's
No,
episode
but-
3 and we all love it.
Yeah, and you got to suspend your disbelief because you know that's where he's got to end up, you know? He's
Literally
got
0 to 1,060
It was 0 to 1,060 seconds, absolutely, and that's a valid critique for Revenge of the Sith. But it's one of those things you kind of overlook because it's George Lucas. He's got to turn into Darth Vader somehow. But like spending a whole episode basically with Chimere, because I refuse to call him the Stranger. I just don't like that. I just don't like that. If they want to give us another name to call him, Chimere, whatever, Darth Stranger, I guess, but the Stranger, I don't like. He didn't go to 7 years of Stranger School to be called the Stranger, Mr. Stranger.
Yeah, I feel like the Stranger is like something that the marketing team was like, we need to
100%.
have something to put on the box.
100%. Well, it's like the child instead of giving Grogu
Yeah.
a name or whatever. You know, there's a lot of stuff like you got to call him something, and people, and they don't like Baby Yoda, so they got to call him the child. People didn't
And
like calling this guy
and
Smilo Ren.
He doesn't even like bring himself up as the Stranger in the show.
No.
At
No,
least in the
they
show
went
they call
nowhere.
him they call Grogu the child, and then it's
Yeah.
like the Stranger is like this marketing
Yeah.
thing that pops up.
Right.
Like, it would.
Yeah,
it would-
the first time we heard that, I think, was on the box for the helmet, wasn't it? Like I'd never heard him called that.
Yeah,
before.
it was whenever the box came out. I think
That was-
for the helmet. The helmet.
Give him the old Stranger.
Yeah.
but yeah, I thought his interactions together with OSHA, I just thought it was so believable, or at least more believable than anything we've seen before as far as a turn or a possible turn. And that's the thing, is they left. I think that was probably the best ending we'd had in
Episode
the show
6.
so far. Yeah, because she puts on the helmet and there's like that Vader-esque breathing in there, and then it ends, and I was like, okay, like that was a good ending, because it was like, ooh, I want to know more, but it felt like a good ending place, you know?
Yeah, I agree. And then so we had the flashback episode, episode 7. Can we talk about the end credits real quick?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up.
Like
The song.
like what are we doing here? Like what is happening?
So apparently that song was written for this episode. It's called like
It's-
The Power of Two or something like that.
It sounds like it's for Amandla because I know she's
I think
like
she's a singer,
like a hip hop artist or something.
Yeah,
And it kind of sounded like it was her doing it.
it might have been.
I don't know
honestly.
if it is or not.
Yeah, it might.
But
Let's see if I can find something on it. But I know it was
that-
written
specifically for that episode because some of the dialogue you could tell it's like the twin flame or whatever. That is insane to me. Like
It was
they
weird.
actually put that in there. I don't
So
even
it's
know where
by-
to begin.
It's by an artist called Victoria Monet. The Power of Two
Okay.
from Star Wars: The Acolyte soundtrack. It definitely it was weird. I didn't hate it. I didn't hate the song, but it definitely like we've never had like a song like that in Star Wars where if it felt out of place because we don't have anything else to compare it to. You know.
Also, like maybe you should do it like after to set the tone for each episode. Have that
Sure.
be the end of it, but it was just the end of the second
Just
last
that-
episode.
yeah,
just
second to last
dropping that in
episode,
out of
yeah.
nowhere. It's like,
yeah.
like what are we doing?
Like,
what is happening?
Why then? Like why not the whole show? Why not the first episode? Why
but-
isn't that just
Like a Star Wars show to have an actual song as an end
Yeah.
credit. It just feels so Marvel Studios to me.
It did
Like,
feel a little more.
It
You know,
ends
also-
and then we got AC/DC playing or something, you know.
Well, so that what was the show? It was the Willow show. Like the end of every episode always had some kind of like weird version of like a pop song on it. Mm-hmm. And I always felt that was weird because like the show doesn't have that vibe. But then at the end, like there was one that had like a Metallica song or like an AC/DC song, where I'm like, all right, I guess that's what they're going for. So it did feel out of place. I don't think it was like ruining or anything, but it was jarring to like what am I listening
It
to?
was-
like, why is this
it
Star
was-
Wars? Yeah.
Yeah, like just the fact that they put that in a like you're Leslie Headland and you have your
Yeah.
one shot at a Star Wars show and you're like I got to drop this in the end credits. So
She wants to drop a banger. I mean, there are people that love that song.
Let's do a song. I mean, I haven't
I-
listened to like the full song.
Sure.
You know, I didn't sit there all the way through the credits, but it was like it took me from thinking about the episode to being like,
Yeah,
what the hell
it
is
was
happening
distract-
right
yeah,
now?
instead of
like what's
instead of
happening?
digesting what you just saw, you're like processing a song. Yeah, I get that.
Yeah, yeah.
I do think Disney Star Wars, current Star Wars, I should say. I hate the phrase Disney Star Wars because it's still Lucasfilm, but lately they've been doing more with music. I would say, like in the Jedi Fallen Orders, they had that song from the Who or whatever whatever that Mongolian band is that does the throat singing. Like that's like a real band, and they commissioned them to do this song, but like that's a song that they play now. And like I feel like they've been doing more and more with music as they've been going on, like trying to incorporate like real music into it. Even on the Starliner when they did the hotel, like they had an artist. That was one of the things on there was they had an artist and she had songs that like she sang, like that she would drop, So I mean, it's something they're trying. It's not my favorite thing, but I don't think the song's bad.
Yeah, the song. I mean, I need to listen to the full song, like maybe on Twitter or something.
Yeah, it's on YouTube. You can look it up.
But for an end credits of a Star Wars,
It was weird.
like episode. I don't think Star Wars is like. I look at Star Wars so differently than I look at other like types of shows. Like put that, like do that for Marvel Studios. Do that for whatever else you're doing. Like don't bring that type of stuff into Star Wars.
Oh, so
maybe
I
I'm
don't
just too
mind that.
protective. But
I think you might be a little overprotective there. I think as long as it's not like a regular thing, I could see it being okay. I just linked it in chat for some reason if anyone wants to listen to it. Like I don't want it normalized, but I don't mind if it's like a rare one-off thing. I guess.
yeah, I guess as a one-off thing,
Yeah.
it's fine. But if I go to a movie theater, Mandalorian
Sure.
and Grogu,
Yeah.
Mandalorian and Grogu movie, and they got a song playing at the end instead of the score for the movie, I'm gonna be a little salty because I feel like Star Wars is.
Star Wars should have the score for the movie playing at the end. I completely agree. Like
Yeah,
you should.
like,
you gotta
you
have that.
You got the fanfare and all that.
Yeah.
You got the
Yeah.
the end credits song, and then then later on it intertwines all the motifs from the film. Yeah, but it was really out of place. But and it's so out of place, in my opinion, that that's kind of what we're talking about with episode 7. But
Well, sure, but
now we can talk about
yeah. So like what they basically confirmed that Osha and May are like one person split into two people, which is interesting.
Yeah, so I have a theory. I think
Yeah.
they're gonna make it to where whatever dark side is like Chymere's master, or whichever one is around at this time, is messing around with creating life, because we obviously know what eventually happens with Anakin.
Yeah.
And maybe they taught like this witch coven how to do it just so they can have people experiment for them. Or maybe that Zabrak witch lady is one of them and is trying to figure it out, and like they came to this planet, and that's
yeah. I definitely think that's one of the reasons they came to that planet, because they mentioned in the episode that it was a barren planet because of a hyperspace accident, which is something that happened in the very first book of the High Republic. The Light of the Jedi is about that hyperspace thing, where it's like a ship basically exploded in hyperspace and all of its debris hit planets in hyperspace speeds, and so it basically wiped out all life because it was just going so fast, and it's so detrimental to life when something that fast hits a planet. So it was a fun tie-in, and then so something is causing the plant life and the planet to kind of heal from it very fast. So it would make sense why Jedi are just on there researching that. It would make sense why maybe some kind of Sith witch coven or whatever is using that to do whatever experiments they're trying to do. Like it all makes sense why they're there on that planet.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I did think, so can we talk about some character motivations?
Please. Yeah.
I did think, what's his name? Torben. That I thought his motivation was a little lame whenever, because they showed him being like, he didn't want to be on that planet. It seems like he's bored, and it seems like he's kind of this apprentice who thought being a Jedi was different than what it actually is, because they're out just kind of scouting planets and stuff. Yeah. And he's like, oh, I really want to go home.
Keep in mind that they were there for they'd been there for like 7 weeks. So it's not like they got there for like an afternoon. He's like, I want to go home already. Like,
yeah. So he's very homesick.
He's homesick after being on a random planet with, 3 other people.
Yeah. But to go like, so willingly against your master just because and go like get the girls or something just because you want to go home seemed a little
that one thing that was hard for me to swallow too, because it seemed at first I thought maybe he was being influenced still, he was still under the witch's influence. I don't think it is now. I think he just he's like, this is how I can get out of here, and it could be a suggestion still in his brain from that, like maybe because he basically asked the witch, mother Anastasia, like to get him home. That was like the whole thing, to like let her in. He was interacting with her in his brain, and it was clear that he just wanted to go home. And maybe he saw that as a sign of like, hey, if you do this, I'll get to go home, and like that kind of spurned that. But it did seem very sudden and very energetic and very out of character that we'd seen from him so far.
Yeah, and that's
for sure.
It goes back to like if we had longer episodes and we had if we had 5 more minutes of screen time with him, and we see something,
flesh it out a little bit.
He like really hates it, where he's like doing a task and it's just like flesh out his character a little bit more, and then that turn, but that moment makes it's more like believable.
I think having them show that conversation with Mother Anastasia in his brain was enough for me to understand that he just really didn't want to be there. Because at the end of the day, he's like a Padawan and a Jedi, so he's not going to show that much emotion. Like he's not going to be complaining that much, because he's still like, they are still kind of repressed and solemn and trying to control their emotions. So I think it'd be more out of character if he were pouting and whining like Anakin Skywalker. would have been.
Yeah.
And I did say someone suggest that Torben was a Skywalker because he whined so much. Which, you know what? Maybe.
The hair. Yeah, the hair.
Yeah,
the blonde hair. Blonde curly hair.
Yeah.
He gets wavy hair when it gets
He does
longer.
he does. But so Kirby's right. He aged poorly. He just, in those 16 years or whatever between, is it 12 years? Whatever between that night and when we see them again, he did not age very well.
Yeah. And I also thought, like, I still don't see, like, I don't think the Jedi did anything that terrible. Like, why are... That's one thing that I have been struggling with because, like, Soul, I understand Soul has guilt because we clearly see him with his Force hands holding two girls.
First of all, he killed Mother Anastasia.
Yeah, but so I'll get to that in 1 second.
Okay. Well, he did two bad things there. I could see him having guilt over.
Yeah. So he was holding two girls.
He was holding May and
he was struggling, and then he chose to hold one.
Correct.
Because he was struggling so hard, and
he made a choice. Yeah,
it was one or none essentially.
Yeah.
So he chose Osha. So he probably feels guilty about that, which I get it.
Of course.
But whenever he killed the mother, I feel like anybody with common sense in that situation is probably stabbing the mother too.
Sure, but at the same time, like
she starts turning into a dark
smoke, whatever. Yeah.
And then he looks and he sees May also having dark smoke.
Sure.
And then we see that May already told him they want to do a sacrifice.
Sure.
So I feel like that's affecting the little girl.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would try to do something to save, if in my mind, if that's what.
Mm-hmm. But then 5 seconds later, he found out he was wrong about the whole thing when he killed her, and she's like, "I was gonna let Osha go."
Yeah, but not May. Like May could have been killed right there, and
sure. But it was very clear that she wasn't going to harm the children. Like it was very clear that he shouldn't have, even though he had all the best intentions, and he wasn't. He was trying to help the kids. He learned right then and there that they weren't in danger from her. Yeah, and he just stabbed a girl basically because he had a misunderstanding.
But yeah, so Soul, I understand having the guilt.
Sure,
but Torben, I don't know. I don't know
why he wanted to kill himself. That is one of the things that I don't understand. Like I don't think they did anything bad enough to make him want to kill himself.
That's what I don't understand his motivation there. I think,
but there could be something else we haven't seen yet, or I don't know.
Yeah, there's still an episode to go. They could tie it up. They could tie it up. But maybe he had a vision, and that's just his destiny. Because
it could be.
You know, that's how Star Wars goes sometimes. But
could be. I do think, I feel like Kill Naka would have more of a motivation to want to kill himself. Because he was being controlled and he was attacking with his claws. And I don't know if this is still canon or if it was just...
I saw a video about that too.
But Wookiees aren't supposed to use their claws when they fight. It's like a cultural no-no to do that. And he specifically was using his claws and clawed up Torben's face.
Or I saw the video that said
it's like a mad claw or something.
A mad claw. Yeah.
Mad claw, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's like a neat little touch. And then also maybe Kilnaka feels like I shouldn't be a Jedi because, like, if my mind can so easily, after all these years, my mind can so easily be penetrated.
Yeah, he went fast. Like, what? Yeah. So what I want to know is what was that conversation, was there a conversation? Because clearly it was a little different. Like with Torben.
It wasn't one-on-one.
It wasn't one-on-one because they had the whole coven thing going together on Kilnaka. So it definitely wasn't the same, like an equal situation. But I will say it was a cool fight.
It was a sick fight. The choreography.
I definitely want a Kilnaka figure. Like I want that. And he should come with a rope. He should come with his lightsaber, and he should come with a metal detector.
And a new sculpt with
100%
old butterfly joint, so we can get some good Jedi articulation.
We definitely need a new sculpt. That's a figure like Hasbro. I know last time I said don't just repaint a figure we already have for a new Wookiee. if you're listening, Hasbro, I don't know if it's too late. I don't know if you already have it sculpted. When you do Kel Naka, and I say when, he needs to be his own sculpt. You need a new sculpt.
Yeah, a nice, tall, hunky.
And I specifically want a Kel Naka with Jedi robes. I don't want the naked Kel Naka from the Forest Planet or whatever. I want Kel Naka in his prime with a shaved head, like, and his Jedi robes on.
Yeah, and Kel Naka, like, at least he was a Jedi all the way up until a year before where the current story picks up. So it's not like he had this big old, like, I'm going to do a Torben and go kill myself. But he went on a solo mission and then just kind of went rogue and never contacted him. He was on his own. And we see that he was kind of obsessed with he had the Witch Coven logos, like, all over his little house. So he's clearly doing some self-investigation, going rogue a little bit.
Yep.
So his, like, I understand, like, from, like, he's fine. He checks out. Soul checks out. But Torben is the one where, like, where's your motivation coming from?
Yeah.
You know, so that's one thing that we still need.
I don't know. Maybe it just scarred him as a Padawan. I mean, obviously it scarred him. Like, it physically scarred him. But maybe that experience, like, maybe he just felt guilt because of what they did being there specifically. And again, I'm just playing devil's advocate. Like, what could the motivation be? Like, there's got to be something. So, I mean, if he hadn't sped off that night, really wanting to go home, if he hadn't have been swayed in the first place, like, his actions going there that night are kind of what started everything. And maybe he just kind of blames himself for the whole thing going down like that. Like, all the witches dying, Mother Anastasia dying, the fire, all of that. He might blame on himself because of him being basically so not a good Jedi and speeding off and trying that. I also go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, I feel like I wouldn't feel bad about the witches dying because they were, like, penetrating my dude's
for sure.
mind. Like, they were being evil, you know.
You know, it's one thing to say that; it's another thing to do it. Like there are tons of stories of people killing someone, you know, in self-defense, but they still feel awful about it because they still took someone's life.
Yeah,
you know, like you can't overlook the fact that even though you could be 100% in the right and it being justified, that's still something that you did.
Yeah.
And
I feel bad when I kill bugs, if I'm being honest.
Exactly.
I feel bad because I'll go out of my way to take a bug and throw it out of the house because I'm like, it's not my place to choose. But there's some bugs obviously you have to step on. But you know,
sure,
I'm not choosing whether this bug lives or not, and I just toss it outside.
I try to do that honestly with spiders. Like
spiders are good for the
Lily hates spiders, but spiders are good, and some spiders are good to have in your house because they keep other spiders in check, they keep bugs in check, stuff like that. But Lily hates spiders, and so if I see one, I'll just get like a piece of paper and kind of scoop them up on it, and then I'll let them outside. Or sometimes I just put them in a different part of the house, and I don't tell Lily. I did not growing up, but like my first place I lived in when I moved out of my parents' house. There was a spider that lived in the top corner of my bathroom. I called her Charlotte because like Charlotte's Web, whatever. Sure. And I told her, I'm like, if you stay in there when I'm in the bathroom and you don't move, like we're cool. You can do what you want. She lived there for like a year, just like eating bugs and whatnot. Yeah.
But yeah, where were we talking about?
Oh,
you were about to bring up.
We're talking about how you can feel guilty, even if something's not really your fault. Like, you can still blame yourself. And even so, I think what was interesting for me about episode 7 is it swapped my opinion of Soul and Indara. In episode 3, that flashback episode, I saw Indara as like a strict by the book. Everything's her fault. She's leading the Jedi. Like, she's the cause of everything. And Soul's just trying to do the right thing. But when you see it, what the Jedi are actually doing, Soul is the one who's like weirdly obsessed with the kids, and specifically Osha. And Indara is trying to do not just the right thing, but like the actual Jedi thing. She's the one that's like, no, we should leave them alone. We should
Contact the council.
We got to contact the council. The council says no, we've already interfered too much. We should stop. We should let them go. Like, she's the one that's trying to do the right thing, and Soul is being weirdly possessive and emotional, and kind of it. The whole thing is pretty much Soul's fault. Like, if he weren't so obsessed with trying to be a hero and trying to do the right thing,
and connecting with Osha,
and feeling like she was meant to be his Padawan, and Indara's like, don't confuse your wants with theirs and stuff like that. Like, I think that was so telling, and it really did make me see Soul differently. And it probably is Ki-Adi-Mundi's fault, Kirby. It probably is.
Everything is his fault.
Everything is Ki-Adi-Mundi's fault.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely, I'm definitely excited to see what happens in the finale. I'm really hoping it wraps up some of the questions I still have, because, some of the show,
sure,
I really like some of the show, and then some of the show, it's like, it's not grabbing me right now. But
I agree. I have faith it will, but I won't be surprised if it doesn't. So worst case scenario for me, it's a mid show that had some cool ideas and some really cool fight scenes. But, best case scenario is a really good show with a good story that had some weak acting and some cringe pacing, or not cringe pacing, bad pacing and cringe like parts, which is fine. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But we definitely need to kill Naka. We definitely need a stranger. I would be okay if we never got a Torben. Like, I don't need a Torben. And if we did get a Torben, I'd probably want I think I'd want a young Torben. I don't want a weird looking old Torben, and I don't want a scarred up Torben. I'd probably just want a young Torben if we did. But I think the Stranger and Kelnaka are the only figures I really need. Maybe a Basil. Maybe a Basil. But there's definitely not a ton of characters that I really need. You know what? I'll say a mother Anastasia and a mother Coral might be cool.
The Zabrak lady is Coral.
Yeah. And of course,
What?
if anything shows up in the last, there's a specific actor, I don't remember his name, who is going to be in the show and hasn't shown up yet. So people are theorizing that he is going to be the Sith.
A Sith Lord.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Yoda.
I'm kind of glad that Yoda hasn't been in it so far. Like, and I'd be okay if Yoda. And I think Leslie Headland said that Yoda wasn't going to be in it. I think she said that.
Yeah, I thought she was being a little coy, though.
Same.
She's definitely not going to reveal it, but I wouldn't mind a Yoda cameo if they wanted to sprinkle one in there in the last episode. Because, I mean, they've been talking about the High Council. They got to show them once, right?
If they show up at the end and there's just a little...
Yeah, because if Soul lives, he's got to talk to the High Council about something. So, David Harewood. Kirby says David Harewood.
That's it, David Harewood.
I'm going to see what this guy looks like and see if he looks like he could be a Sith.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't say just because he looks, he could be a Sith, but he seems
I feel like to be a bad guy, you have to have a certain aura.
True. True.
Like, I feel like Chimere has that aura. Anakin has that. Hayden has that aura. Especially in episode 3.
Yeah, that's true. That's pretty true.
Ian McDermott has that aura to make a good villain. Adam Driver, I think, has that.
No, I agree. And I think Adam Driver and Manny Jacinto have kind of the same energy.
Yeah. Chimere's more smooth. Are you talking about the actors specifically?
Kind of both. But you're right. Chimere is more smooth than...
Yeah. But yeah. Kylo did show up shirtless also. Talking to
True.
Rey. Like, hey, check this out.
True.
So they read the same book. Do you think Chimere might... Because they played Kylo Ren's music a lot more this most recent episode. Because they sprinkled it in episode 6 and then episode 7 or they sprinkled it in episode 5.
At the end
And
of
then
episode 5. Yeah.
Episode 7, they played it quite a bit. This most recent one, the theme.
I didn't actually notice that, but I wasn't paying attention, so I'll go back and watch it.
Yeah. I think they even played it whenever Kale Naka was fighting Soul and Torben.
You know, it's interesting. He's not listed in the as a being in the Acolyte on IMDb, but I saw an article saying that he was going to be in the Acolyte. So
Is he doing a voice? Maybe he's voicing like a character.
well, even if he was voiced it, he'd be listed as an actor on it. But he hasn't shown up yet, and they're clearly keeping it under wraps. So I think he's going to be something to do with the Sith. That's my thought.
Yeah. We'll definitely see. But do you have any other thoughts before we wrap up
No,
this episode of Black Series Cantina?
Yeah,
Shorter
no,
episode this week.
shorter episode, but I think that's okay. I think it's okay to have a shorter episode.
Unless you're the Acolyte, make them longer so we can flesh some things
True.
out.
That's true. You know, here's the thing. It's not a bad thing to want more Star Wars. That's one of the tenets of making something entertaining is always leave them wanting more. So the fact that, you know, we want more of it, I don't think is bad. If we didn't want more, if they gave us, you know, what they gave us and we're like, nah, I'm okay. I don't need to see more. Like, I think that would be worse than, man, I really wish they gave us more of this stuff, you know? Like, that's not a terrible problem to have.
That is true. But I think that's going to do it for episode 75 of Black Series Cantina. We'll be back in 2 weeks. We'll be recording on Thursday, the 25th. And I guess, is that the weekend before SDCC? I think it is.
I think it is. I think it's the day before SDCC. So this is the episode where we should have come up with predictions for what we'd see revealed. Because I think, honestly, we should probably delay the next episode until after they reveal stuff, which is on like Saturday or whatever.
Honestly, true. All right, so we'll be in talks about that.
Yeah.
Join our, because I know we have a guest lined up. We have
Do we?
Sebastian Curling Collectibles is going to be on this next one. So,
Oh, okay.
but I can maybe talk to him and push it back to sometime.
Like August or something. Or maybe
yeah, we'll be.
If he wants to be on that one, that's still fine.
Honestly, maybe we could do Saturday night if their whatever their panel is. If their panel's Saturday, they're usually doing them at like noon or something, right? Or early. So maybe we can do it at nighttime. We'll be in talks. But yeah, join the Facebook group for any updates on that, because that's where we usually post everything. Join the Patreon if you want more Black Series Cantina. We have VIP hangouts, which we need to schedule another one for this month. Leave a like and a review on whatever podcast feed you use to listen to this. We have merch if you want like a mug or a glass or a shirt. We have it all. Follow us on Twitter at TBS Cantina, Facebook. Join the Facebook group, Black Series Cantina. Send us an email if you want to join the email segment, blackseriescantina@gmail.com.
Yes. All of that. Yeah. I made a video. If you want to watch the Acolyte figure review, my full thoughts on them, you can go check that out. Check me out on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok.
Oh yeah. I forgot to do the plugs. You can follow Mike everywhere, and you can follow me everywhere. TikTok,
Yep, that's
Instagram.
it. Those are good
everywhere.
plugs.
We're everywhere.
Those are good plugs. Thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you next time. Probably, I guess, looking at our schedule. Wow, we should have planned this better. After San Diego Comic-Con, so we will talk about the reveals that we saw, that we saw there. Bye.